Dr. Umar was on this podcast and he was saying some things.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to go into that a little bit because there's a lot of things I don't agree with Umar with, and this is one of those things. Let me see. Here it is. So this is the daily wrap up crew, I believe they're talking about. And here's Umar talking about some things here.
Because we try to act like the way sisters treat us doesn't have a history that we are not at least partly responsible for. Let's be honest. The Black woman has had to hold down the Black house by herself, although imperfectly. She's had to do it by herself since the mass incarceration of Black males began in the 1970s. You understand me? Most of our children are raised by a single mother right now. And it has been that way for about 50 years. So when a sister says, I don't need a man, because she couldn't find one strong enough to hold her down. Or when you meet a woman and you say, sister, I'm strong enough to be a man. You ain't got to work or you ain't got to pay the bills or whatever. Pull back. I got you. And she can't do it because all the other men before you who disappointed her. So what I'm saying is, Black men, we got to be patient with our women because we created that personality. We created that. And then we want to act like we didn't play a role.
We have to be held accountable for their poor selection.
No, you have to be held accountable. No, you have to be held accountable because they have a poor selection. See, what you're saying, you're selecting a poor mate. And what I'm saying is they don't have much to select one, so of course you're going to end up with a poor mate. And why is she going to end up with a poor mate? Because we as Black men are not raising Black boys to be the men that our women need. We are not. They out there killing themselves right now. What we doing about it? Unemployed Black males, what we doing about it? Pants sagging, weed smoking, what we doing about it? Black men are not raising Black boys to be the men our community needs. That is 100% our fault. What I'm saying is she got a right to be angry with us. She got a right to be angry with us. We have not been on our job as Black men. If the men are the providers, what have we been providing for our community? I'm not speaking you individually.
Yes.
Because you may be a damn good father. You may be a damn good father. You may be a damn good father. But guess what? What are we doing for the community? What are we doing for the children who don't have a father? You don't think the Black woman got a right to be angry when she's been raising 2/3 of the kids by herself for 50 years? And the minute she raised her voice, we say she's not humble enough. She had to become masculine to survive the rape, the molestation, the domestic abuse. Are you telling me you can't see how we created that?
I understand that, but she needs
If we was loving our women and taking care of our women, do you think she would be like that? That personality has a history.
If she's picking Pookie and Ray Ray instead of...
You're making her a scapegoat.
No, she's picking a scapegoat.
No.
There's good quality men that they ignore.
Why she even got it? Why is there even a Pookie in the selection?
You gotta ask her.
No. I'm gonna tell you why there's a Pookie in the selection. Because Black men have abandoned Black boys and have allowed social media, white media, athletes, and rappers to raise them. That's why she with Pookie.
See, that's where I gotta give some pushback. And the reason why I played that clip, and I know that Umar panders to a female audience.
I've never heard him talk like this before. You know, the whole time I'm listening to him talk, I'm thinking like, this dude don't really believe what he's saying. He's seen the Derrick Jackson that fell off, and now he's trying to come up in this place. Like, that's all I kept hearing. That's it.
He's been like that for the longest. And there are some things that I agree with. There are some things I don't agree with. But the reason why I wanted to play that clip, talking about the Black woman chose Pookies because Black men didn't do their job to prevent Pookies from happening. And me initially watching that clip infuriated me.
Okay.
Absolutely infuriated me. First of all, there's no accountability for the woman. I watched bits and pieces of the interview. He's like, oh, I do go on shows where I hold Black women accountable. You really?
I've never seen him talking.
I really don't, because most of his fan base are women. But to say that we created Pookies by not being strong, masculine, black, sturdy men is absolute cap. Absolute cap. Like I was saying in the whole TI thing, and I want to transition into Umar, there will always, always, always be an underbelly of society. Always. I don't like the fact that he tries to paint this narrative as if black men do their job, black women are going to get in line, and we're going to have this black utopia where everything's all good, and we no longer have hoods, we have neighborhoods, and everything's going to be good. It doesn't work like that.
True.
It doesn't work like that. It's never worked like that. It never will work like that.
Yeah.
Even at the height of civilization, when we was building pyramids and all that stuff, where you had the height of African Kemetic civilization, there's always an underbelly of society.
Mm-hmm.
There will always be a dichotomy where there's hot, there's cold, there's up, there's down, where there's light, there's darkness. There will always, always, always be Pookies. Always. Now, well, can I say that if we had a community, would there be less Pookies? Yes. But to say that the black man is not doing his job, therefore Pookie was created is absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. There's always been an underbelly of society. As a matter of fact, the reason why a lot of the underbelly of black society was created is in order to fight against our white oppressors. From what I understand, from what I've heard, I've never really researched this myself, but according to Tariq Nasheed, when Tulsa was getting bombed, it was the street dudes who pulled up with them things to fight against the white people who were burning and looting the town. Man, it was the street cats who were really the protectors of our community. And it's crazy because even I've heard Umar say that we need to take the street dudes and train them to be warriors. Since they are already doing that shit in the streets, you need to take those street cats, treat them as a militia, as a military, give them some formations and this, that, and the third, and those can be your community protectors. But now we're saying that, well, because black men aren't doing what black men are supposed to do, Pookies now run rampant in the community.
So the question then becomes, whose fault is it that we have Pookies?
Pookie has always existed.
Like, I just feel like you trying to pick up this whole Derrick Jackson vibe. That's what it looks like to me. It's weird. It's fucking weird. I will say I would rather never hear him speak in that space again. I just don't. This is somebody who also don't do right by women. I'm not saying everything he said was wrong, because I feel like, yes, on one hand, women do have a right to be angry and to be frustrated and pissed off, but you can't just have that one-sided conversation. But women also are supposed to be caring and nurturing and loving and taking accountability. Men also, black men also have the right to be just as angry, just as frustrated, just as pissed off. You can't have a one-sided conversation without having the other side. It's just not fair. It's not fair to men, because you all don't get to, you all now that puts you back in the space of we can't speak freely, we can't share our heart, we can't share our story, right? It puts you back in that space but it's also not fair to have those conversations without both sides. To women, it's not fair to us because those type of one-sided conversation makes us lack accountability. You're not holding us accountable for the things that we've done. A lot of people will say in situations like, well, I don't know. I'm just gonna cap it at this. I think Umar is tripping in the sense that you can't say that angry, frustrated women is the Black man's fault without addressing why that is or how these men came to be. And I agree with you. It's gonna always be Pookies in the world. Like just like we gonna always have that one family member or so that do drugs, or one family member or so that's whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna always be that. But yeah, I think he just needs to shut the fuck up, figure out how to build the school.
Well,
get their money back.
According to him, the school is supposed to be open Kwanzaa 23. So that would be around the end of December of this year. Supposedly he's going to open up the school. He's also said that many times, many years before. I'm building the school. I'm opening up the school then. I'm opening up school for Juneteenth. I'm opening up school this and I'm opening up school that. And the school hasn't been open. So as far as I'm concerned, the nigga has no credibility in my eyes. I used to like Umar Johnson. I used to rock with Umar Johnson. As a matter of fact, I rock with him so heavy when Kim came to St. Louis some years back. It was our weekend to chill and be together, but I wanted to see him so bad. I was like, babe, we got to see Umar Johnson. She's like, who's Umar Johnson? I'm like, Umar Johnson's a psychologist, psychiatrist. Dude is like cold. We have to go see him. But again, you keep saying, oh, I got this school, this school, this school, this school, this school, this school. Oh, I have this property and we need people to come down to volunteer their services and blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. But your school hasn't been open yet. You know, people can say that Tariq Nasheed is a hustler, he's a swindler, he's a shyster, but here it comes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has came out. Dead numbers. 1804, Haitian Revolution came out. Dead numbers. Buck breaking came out. Done numbers. And his most recent one, which I have not got yet, American Maroon, doing numbers. Jason Black, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Race War, 3 documentaries, all done numbers, all came out. Where the fuck is your school? While you sit here, this is what pisses me off. Umar likes to sit on his high horse like you ain't done shit, nigga. Where the fuck is your school, nigga? Where's your school at? You talked all this shit. You ain't got a charter school, a little school, a big, you ain't got shit. You don't have shit to show for but a bunch of interviews and lectures and stuff that he's done. But my problem is this. He says he holds women accountable. I haven't heard it because most of his fan base are women. It's the same hustle as the church. The reason why men are leaving the church because a lot of men don't believe in that bullshit. Pastor be fucking all the gals, the women in the choir and in the church, and he got 2 or 3 little kids that look like him. And men see this hypocrisy is like, yo, you worse than these niggas in the streets. So a lot of people don't, but you know, if you want to interview the man, fine. You know, I believe dude's got great information. But when it comes to the rubber meeting the road, I don't feel Umar's there. I don't feel he's been there. I don't think he's going to be there. You know, you had this whole conscious stripper scandal where you lied about it. Nigga, if you a single man, just say you wanted to get some sex. You had to lie about it and do all that. Dude, you a single man. Just say, yes, I slept with her. Nobody's going to fault you for saying I got a little piece of ass. You're still a man. But you had to lie about it. But back to what I was saying, I looked at that segment of what he was saying. And it's kind of like, oh, it's all the man's fault. And the women literally have no accountability. And I was getting hella pushback because I commented on one of Tasha K's Instagram videos of Tokyo Tony, which is Black China's mother, knocking on a door, basically saving this gal from getting her head bust to the white meat by some dude. And I made the comment like, yo, Tokyo Tony needs to mind her business for something happened to her. I got so much pushback from women. Oh, you're a woman beater. Okay, I see what you're on. Da 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 da. Where's the accountability from you hoes? First of all, you went to a hotel with this man that you obviously didn't know very well. You know, I'm pretty sure if it was a dude that you knew better, who you've had sex with in the past, and you said, okay, I don't really feel like, you know, I don't really want to have sex or whatever, I'm pretty sure he'd be more understanding. But then you go to a hotel room with a strange man and he gets mad. I'm not saying dude's right because he was wrong, but you put yourself in a situation to where you set yourself up to get your head bust to the white meat. You a woman beater, bitch. You don't know shit about me. Nothing. I try to add a little bit of drop of reason, understanding, and accountability, and these bitches go crazy. And I call them bitches because that's the way I feel what they are. They bitches. So you mean to tell me she went to this man's hotel room at night to do what? Have Bible study? Did what he say? Oh, hey, come to this hotel so we can have Bible study. First of all, even if he did tell her that, you should look the nigga sideways. Who the fuck having Bible study at a hotel room at night? She put herself in that situation for that to happen. And if you knew you wasn't gonna have sex with dude, why'd you even come to the hotel? But then you want to act like you played a victim. Then you say, well, if that was your daughter, you would want, or one of your family members, you would want to intervene. If that was my daughter, I'd teach her better.
Right.
Like, stop going to hotels and private places with strange men you don't know. Stop going on trips with strange men you don't know. Y'all hoes get flew out to Dubai and you think that you're not going to get this man some ass and he leave you stranded there. I'm stranded in Dubai because I didn't want to have sex with him. You knew the reason why he flew you out to Dubai. Ain't no dude flying you out nowhere unless he wants to fuck.
Especially not Dubai.
You know this. You know what type of time this man is on. If a man say, hey, I'm going to fly you out, you know what that means. That means he want to fuck. But where's the accountability? There is none for these women. And I just feel like these brothers may not have been educated enough or maybe passionate enough to go toe to toe with Umar Johnson. But I feel like what he was saying is wrong. You know, prior to the mid to late 60s, the black family was actually intact. People was married, raising families, children, poor or not. The black family was intact before the government gave a black woman welfare. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't deadbeat dads, because there were deadbeat dads. Sure, there were. There were men who walked out of their children's life. Yes, we know this. But women, a lot of women chose government assistance over having a man in your life. And it's funny, I was watching this movie with, I forget what it is. It's a movie with James Earl Jones and damn, what's the girl's name? Lynette Winfield? No. It's an old movie, came out in the 70s where dude's the trash. James Earl Jones plays the trash man, and he hooks up this girl, and she's got like 7 kids, and dude's irresponsible and all this. But when he finally kind of makes like, you know what, this is the woman that I want to be with, whatever. The first thing she asks is, he's like, hey, let's make it official. Let's be together. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Let's make this thing happen. Well, what about my welfare? To the point where they went down to the welfare office and they would ask him, well, what do you do? Do you live there? How much do you make? Blah, 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 blah. Let's not act like the black woman did not get tricked into the feminist movement by the white woman. The white woman used the black woman to gain a certain level of independence from her white man. But the difference is the white woman will go home to her white man. White women will complain and they will bitch. They will riot. 53% of women voted for Trump in the 2020 election, 2019-18 election. I think it was 18. It doesn't matter. But when Trump was elected, 53% of all women voted for him. The next day, those same white women that was complaining about him grabbing pussies and stuff was rioting in the streets because he was elected. White women will let's just say they value whiteness over everything. They might march in the street with you, black women. Oh, you need to leave your husband. You need to do this. You ain't got to take that. Burning bras. And the black woman go home to a single household, an empty house. The white woman go back home to her man. She'll complain about him all day long, but is she going to do anything to really jeopardize her situation? Most of them aren't. Most of them aren't. And that's continued on to this day. You can't say, oh, well, the men need to step up and we need to be in this community and we need to and you, if you watch the interview, he goes on like, oh, you need to mentor her kids and you need to do this and you need to do that. First of all, we don't have a community, nigga. That's first of all. There is no black community. There's just black people living in this society. We don't have a community. Second of all,
you have to elaborate on that one day, bro.
It's not my bro. Like homeboy, so I think it was a light-skinned dude. He's like, it's not my responsibility to take care of his kids. I'm not talking about individual. I'm talking about a community. Again, as a community, it's not his responsibility to take care of somebody else's kids.
That's true. He don't have to. He got a choice.
I do feel like there should be big brother, big sister programs. When I was a part of a church organization, the reason why I stayed, despite me not believing in the religious aspects of it, was because we were doing after school programs. It was because we had a 98, 99% graduation rate from the inception of the program on up until the time it closed. We was doing vacation Bible school, getting the kids off the streets in the summer. We were doing those things. That's something that I was extremely proud of. Yes, there should absolutely be programs, but do you necessarily have to help somebody else's kids? No, you don't. Like my mentor told me, the only people you're responsible for is you and your immediate family. Those are the only ones you're responsible for. If you want to help outside of that, that's fine. That's your choice. But the only people you're responsible for is you and your family. These women want to act like it. You can argue with these gals online till you're blue in the face. Oh, if it hadn't been men like you, and if it hadn't been for the man, no, that's wrong. Most men, black men, don't have kids. A lot of black men don't have kids. They're single, never been married. What about the Pookies? You created the Pookies. No. We're not going to do that. We're not going to play because you as a black man didn't step up. You created the Pookie epidemic. No, that's bullshit. These women specifically go after niggas like Future, niggas like Nick Cannon. I like Nick Cannon, but let's not act like Nick Cannon's a hoe. Nick got 18, 19 motherfucking kids out here. Nick Cannon is a hoe. Flat out.
Yeah.
Flat out. But at least he takes care of his kids. Future don't take care of his kids, and there's still hoes lining up to have his baby. He don't even take care of baby Future. Russell Wilson ass been taking care of baby Future.
That's true.
And hoes are still lining up to get with him.
And they know what it is.
You know he don't take care of his kids, but it's niggas like Future have babies. It's like, this is the category of Future like men who have babies, right? A small percentage of men, Pookies, who don't take care of these kids. Then you have a big selection of women, this versus this. You have a selection of this who wants this. You have a small selection of women like this who want men like this. Men who are upright, men who are mobile, men who are intelligent, men who handle the business, men who want to have families, who want to have wives, who want to do right by the women. Us men get overlooked by them females. We do. You see, you interview these people, you interview these women, you see it online, you see it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok all day long. If you had a choice between a 9 to 5 brother and a drug dealer, which one would you choose? Well, I want the drug dealer. He gonna buy me purses and bags and shoes and this and I want the drug dealer. If you had a drug dealer, a scammer, a robber, or a 9 to 5 man, which one do you want? Well, the scammer, I feel like he would scam me, and I feel like the robber may. Let's go with the drug dealer. I'll take the drug dealer for 1,000. Alex. Rest in peace, Alex Trebek. I think he died. Pretty sure. Yes. Yeah, there are women out here who do want a upstanding male. But if you want an upstanding male, then you have to add all these stipulations to it. He has to have what? 6-pack, 6 figures, and over 6 foot. You got
and
to
over 6 inches.
Oh yeah, and over 6 inches. That's right. You got to have all the 6s. Even when you want a square dude, he has to make a certain amount of money. He has to live a certain lifestyle. He has to be able to do this and do this and do this. What's wrong with the everyday average brother? What's wrong with the plumber? What's wrong with the electrician? What's wrong with the carpenter? What's wrong with having an honest trade? What's wrong with the trash man? Trash man make good money. You know he gonna be home every day around the same time. What's wrong with the landscaper? What's wrong with having a mechanic? What's wrong with having a roofer? You know, these jobs make 60, 80 plus a year. You know, some of these jobs, you can go anywhere. Like I could pack up today. If I was a carpenter, I do carpentry, but I'm not a carpenter by trade. But if I was a carpenter, I could pack up, leave St. Louis today, and I could travel halfway across the world, and I could still be a carpenter.
True, you'll always be able to make money.
Y'all want these office dudes, these high value men. There ain't nothing wrong with a high value man, but again, you're talking about a small percentage of men and a large percentage of women who want that small percentage of men. But Umar wants to act like everything's always the man's fault. There are some dudes who aren't right. But again, there has to be context added to this whole situation.
Can't be a one-sided conversation.
Some men have to grow, just like women. People have to grow. You're not the same person who you was years ago. Like my homeboy told me, he's like, you know, with his son's his first son's mother, who just graduated high school. So shout out to him. But me and him was talking. He told me one day, he's like, you know what? One of the biggest mistakes I made was still sleeping with my baby mama even after we broke up. He said I was still paying bills in that house. I was paying every bill in that house while she was taking care of my son. And I felt like I could come in here and dig her out whenever I want to. And that caused a rift between them to where that damaged their relationship when their son was young.
Damn.
My man had to learn from that. He had to grow from that.
Yeah.
There are some dudes who, no matter, and that's men and women. There are some people, no matter what you do, no matter how you talk to them, no matter how much you help them, no matter nothing. Some people are just satisfied living on the bottom, which debunks the Pookie theory that Dr. Umar has. There will always be a certain level of people who are satisfied living at the bottom of society, who are satisfied doing this, running through women, doing that, not handling their responsibilities. Hell, damn it, Harry Hippie. There's a song called Harry Hippie that Bobby Womack sung. I don't know if he wrote it, but I know he sung it. It's basically a song called, Harry Hippie lies asleep in the shade. Life don't bug him because he thinks he got it made. He never worried about nothing in particular. And he basically goes on, his whole song is about this dude. He just a bum. He goes in and talks about, Mary Hippie. She's Harry's lady, counts all those pennies just to feed Harry's baby. And then, he goes on and like, I can't help you if you're sleeping on the ground. I can't help you if you're somewhere out of town. There's always going to be that type of dude. That's a song, what, in the 70s? I want to say the 70s he sung that. There's always going to be a level of people who just don't.
Oh, the lyrics is deep. I'm looking at the lyrics. The lyrics is something else.
Yeah, I fuck with Bobby Womack. Bobby Womack always has the great songs. But I can't with Umar. I know he panders to women. He panders to his fan base. But let's not act like if there's a utopia, like just tomorrow, Thanos snap, tomorrow, all black people are doing good. There's always going to be someone who don't want to do that. Always. There's no such thing as a utopian society. There never will be. There never will be. But I go on podcasts and I hold women accountable. I ain't seen it.
Like I said, I've never heard him talking this.
I haven't seen it. I can't stand Umar for certain things. How many women mess up a situation with her man or her husband because she's bored? Or because she wants something different? Or in Aisha Curry's case, you're married to a high value man, you have a beautiful family, you have everything you could ever want in life, and he can buy it for you, but you're seeking the attention of other men. What about Jada Pinkett Smith? Will Smith is a good dude. I generally believe Will Smith is a good dude. And for you to eviscerate this man in front of the entire world is fucked up. That's wrong. It's plenty of stories out here of women leave your husband. You can watch them old Kevin Samuels videos. Some of them are called in. So how long was you married to your husband? Oh, we was married for 20 years. And when did you marry? Oh, yeah. So did he pay the bills? Yes. Did you have to work? Well, I worked. No, did you have to work?
Have to work. Or was working an option?
Right. To sustain the household, did you have to work? Well, no. Did he treat you right? Yes. Did he beat on you? No. Did he take care of the kids? Yes. So why'd you divorce your husband? uh, well, I was bored. I wanted something different. So you mean to tell me that this man did everything in a relationship, held you down, took care of the kids, go down the list. He was a good man, and you divorced him because you were bored or because you wanted to seek the attention of other men outside of your relationship. I feel like men are always held accountable. It's always the men. Yes, men are the leaders. Yes, I completely agree with that. Men do need to straighten up their backs.
Yeah.
Some of us, and get our shit together. I agree with that. Men are the patriarchs. You know what I'm saying? We have to be that leader. I agree with that. But to say basically or insinuate that the woman can do no wrong is absolute foolishness. This is the reason why the passport bros exist now. Men is tired of this. I'm not responsible for your kids that you decide to have. Umar, and if you watch the whole interview, Umar's like, well, you planted the seed and da 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 da. Okay. But she let him go wrong. She kept the baby. I'm not saying going raw is right. You shouldn't be sleeping with a woman raw unless you intend on having a baby, unless that's your woman, your gal, your wife, or whatever. But even Shahrazad Ali has been trying to tell us since the 80s that the black woman has never been fully examined for her role in the destruction of the black civilization. And females hate her to this day. Hate her. I'm talking about like 3 generations of women hate Shahrazad Ali. Our brother Metu Jallo was going to bring this sister to St. Louis to do a lecture, and he got so much hate mail from these raggedy ass bitches that he had to cancel that fucking lecture, and he had to apologize to the sister. But she's used to it. She's used to it. She understands. She understood.
Yeah.
But
I remember around that time he was stressed out. I felt so bad for him.
Yes, there are men who need to do better. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But a lot of men that I see are on the up and up. Hell, even the street niggas that I know takes care of their kids and they gal. What he doing might not necessarily be right, but at least he taking care of his responsibilities. Most of the dudes that I know, and maybe it's because I don't hang around those type of pookies. Men typically don't keep non-like-minded company. If a man is on the up and up, typically he's not gonna keep a pookie around. Because a pookie is gonna try to tear down what you got because he's a pookie. Ice-T talked about it in his book. It was an autobiography I read some years ago of Ice-T, and he was talking about how he tried to put his homeboy on, or a couple of homeboys or whatever, and gave him a job, gave him a position, gave him a chance to eat, and they end up robbing this nigga. Straight came up to that nigga office and robbed him.
Damn.
Not everybody. Yes, I agree. Kevin Hart and his plastic cup boys, I appreciate the fact that they have not turned on each other, at least that I know of. I know there was a little turmoil between them a couple of years ago. But come on, man. Let's be real here. Females, I typically see women can have a nice house, a nice job, a nice car, be living good, have you a great man, and you still be hanging or still be friends with, Welfare Winfrey. Let's just say. y'all still be friends with these ratchet females who not going nowhere. Like you're not doing shit with your life. If you watch the documentary movie Diary of a Tired Black Man, you see that dude's wife had everything, had a house, didn't have to work, had a beautiful daughter. Man came home by 6:15 every day, didn't cheat, didn't do nothing, but had a whole gaggle, looked it up, a gaggle of friends sitting around being toxic for with one another. Being toxic. And I don't agree that men need to step up and we need to do this. And if men fix ourselves up and straighten up our backs, then women are automatically going to fall in line. I don't agree with that. And as far as domestic violence is concerned, I'm going to say this and I'm going to end my piece. As far as domestic violence is concerned, I don't believe in getting involved in domestic situations. I do not. I don't. Because what I asked one of these females in that whole Tokyo Tony situation, oh, you're wrong, you're this, you're that. Okay. What if he decided to put his hands on Tony? What if he decided to bust head to the white meat? Then what?
And to be fair, in that video, he did threaten her and told her to put the camera down and step inside the room. You saw what she did.
And she threatened him too. Hey, you gonna die, you gonna die, you gonna die. And that was his brother. I don't know his name, but it was his brother. I think he was at a Walmart. And he tried to intervene in this domestic situation in this particular store between a man and a woman, and his woman begged him not to. She begged him not to do it, and he ended up losing his life. I feel like Denzel. They tried to kill my wife. The man ended up losing his life behind a situation that didn't have nothing to do with him. And now his wife is left being a widow, raising his kids. I don't agree with domestic violence. I don't agree with a man putting his hands on a woman unless she puts his hands on him first. Then that's self-defense. But again, accountability. You put yourself in a situation that's not the best for you. Then you get upset when nobody comes to your defense. That's like jumping into a pool of piranhas. You know they're flood. You know they eat meat. You know they can smell just a whiff of blood like sharks can. But you know that's not good for you, but you jump into a pool of piranhas anyway, and then you eat your ass up. And then you get mad at how come didn't nobody come and save me? And a lot of times these women are repeat offenders. I could tell you some stories, but I'm done. I'm done. I just can't. I just can't.
Why you make that face?
It just pisses me off. Like, I'm all about accountability. I really am. That is the platform that I stand on above everything else. Everybody must be accountable for your actions. And I ain't talking about when you meet Jesus in the afterlife and Jesus asks you what happened, this, that, and the third. No, you have to be accountable for your actions in this life. You're not an island. Like my pops used to always tell me, no one man is an island. You're not an island. What you do affects others. It's a chain reaction. And the reason why us men, a lot of men are going east, going to other countries, trying not to mess with these westernized American women, is because there's no accountability. There's none. You knew this man was not good for it. And it's funny because me and my homeboy Courtney, aka Phoenix, We used to joke about this all the time in Job Corps. That was like 2004. He beats me, but I love him. Oh, he didn't mean it. Oh no, he's not gonna do it again. Where's the accountability? Like, my own mom won't even take accountability for her actions. 100%. She'll take partial accountability, but she won't take 100% accountability for her role in my parents' relationships. My pops has. He's taking accountability. He's apologized. He's grown. You know, hey, son, I'm sorry I taught you the world was black and white. I was wrong. Hey, son, I'm sorry. This, that, and the other. Hey, son, I did the best I could with what I had to work with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, son, if I wasn't the best father to you growing up, I apologize. I had a lot of growing up to do.
But you get someone to be like, yeah, I did this, but, and then it shifts the blame.
That's what it is.
Some women do that. It shifts the blame.
I have to, because I love my mother dearly. I will always love my mom. I love her to life. And I will try not to disrespect her as an adult. And a lot of times that means walking away from her.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to do that very recently. Like, we get into it and you're steady trying to justify your position between me and my father. And I'm telling you, I don't care. It's irrelevant. It happened 25, 30 years ago. What happened is what happened. It has no bearing on what's going on today, especially with me. But it's kind of like you keep wanting to go, and you keep wanting to go, and you keep wanting to justify your position. Well, your daddy did this, and your daddy was this, and your daddy was that, and your daddy. Well, maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but he's not the same man today that he was 30 years ago. He's grown.
Mm-hmm.
He's moved on with his life. And again, I'm trying to tell you that I don't care about what happened in the past. You steady bringing up the past, trying to justify the past to me. I'm trying to tell you that the past is irrelevant. So,
shouldn't even really be having that conversation with you at all about what your dad this and that.
look,
Yeah.
I just be like, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Like, and my mom even antagonizes me. Like, oh, see, that's why you ain't never gonna have a wife, is because you always running away. I'm not running away. I'm walking away as to avoid doing or saying something that I'm gonna regret.
Yeah.
You could call me weak, and this goes for any situation, because I was in a domestic situation with my ex, and I didn't hit her. I put her in the headlock, tried to restrain her, but that was it. I could have. I could have. I could have, but I didn't. I chose not to. I don't want to have to do that. You see what I'm saying? A man will walk away from a toxic situation before he does something he's gonna regret. But he's weak. He's a punk ass bitch. He's this. He's everything under the sun. But I don't know, nigga. I'm done. I'm in my piece right there. I ain't got shit else to say.
You good. You good. I know that Umar stuff pissed you off. I could tell when I talked to you earlier. It's like I said, it's a one-sided conversation. You can't talk about men being pookies and all those other type of stuff without addressing and holding women accountable. Now you may have somebody that may come and say, oh, well, there wasn't any women there, so it wasn't really, a good space to talk about women and accountability, this and that, because we're in a room full of men and, it's just a video of men holding each other accountable. Okay, I can understand that, and that's fine. But at the same time, like I said, one, it's weird to even see Umar talking that space. And two, it's again very one-sided. You cannot absolve women for the things that we've done in regards to relationships and the destruction of the Black community, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you can't just put that all off on men and say women have a right to be upset because we fucked up, which is all fine and well, but what about men's upset? What about hearing their heart and all of that? What about that? That's all I'm saying.